What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another full self-driving beta video. Just kidding. Today is AI Day, September 30th. We're going over to Tesla to check out the robot and I think hardware for some other self-driving stuff, but we just don't know yet. And I'm just about to get picked up. And so we're gonna get a little beta ride. Of course, we gotta go over there with Beta and see how Beta does in California, because it is so much better here from what we see on video. So let's check it out. All right, so we're here, we're driving Beta. We're going to AI Day. We got no humans driving. Omar is in the driver's seat. Thank you for the pickup.
Can't have any humans driving to AI Day. Come on.
For sure. Check out his YouTube channel if you haven't seen it. I'll link that down below. And we're gonna check out if Beta is better in California as it seems it is.
A lot of Teslas here. There's another Model Y. Look at, and there's a Model 3.
Dude, I can't believe how many I've seen. It's just like...
It's crazy, right?
It really seems like every other car.
It is, yeah.
I thought I was seeing them a lot in Ann Arbor lately, because I see maybe one a day, or maybe two a day.
Yeah, this is what the whole country's gonna look like soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do think a big part of like the amount of takeover things you have is your tolerance of what you'll let it do.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know mine is a lot higher than most people.
Takeover is a very subjective thing.
It is, yeah.
You know? It's like, okay, there's crashes, but then there's a whole lot of other, like, okay, I'm just annoying somebody. So do I want to annoy the person or do I want to take over? Right. You should take over. But if you want to not take over, you could just annoy them. Pray for us, you guys.
All right.
Get some stairs and fingers.
Come on, do it, you piece of There we go. Oh, not this again.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay.
We did it.
Wow. That was a tight lane change.
Yeah, it didn't inconvenience anyone or anything. All right, so to interject really quick, a lot of people have noticed in videos that Beta seems to be better in California, and we actually learned a lot about why that might be at AI Day. They talked about how intersections and parts of the road get mapped, not just by a Tesla going through there, but every time a Tesla goes through from different directions, they get more and more pieces of that map that they can save, which almost gives kind of a pseudo HD map type of solution to the self-driving that they're going for. This makes it so that no matter what angle you approach from, if enough data has been collected about that area, you have multiple points of reference and you kind of know what's going on. Even if you're coming from over here, you know what's going on over here, even if maybe you can't see it exactly at that time. So a place like San Francisco in California, where there are tons of Teslas, as I saw while I was there, you have more and better data on those intersections, and so your self-driving can be better. Now, there's three more things I think are key here. Number one, the roads there are really good. The line markings are amazing. The roads are in really good shape. It's not full of potholes and destroyed like we see in Michigan. Number two, it felt really good to me, and I think a big part of that was because I was in the back seat. I'm not responsible. I'm not sitting here in the driver's seat. So if the car does something a little off, I probably didn't even notice. And if I did notice, I probably didn't care because I'm not in control anyway. I'm just chilling in the back seat, taking a ride in a Beta car. And number three, it has a lot to do with how tolerant the driver is of what the car is doing. Meaning, as you saw, someone like Omar let it do its thing, even though it was kind of strange, and I maybe would have taken over in that situation, and you maybe would have taken over, but he did not. So in the case of Omar's videos specifically, he may have a higher tolerance for allowing the car to fix its mistakes than I or you or someone else does. Now, as he said, you shouldn't annoy the people around you, and you definitely shouldn't do anything dangerous, but if you want to see what the car can do, you can allow it to do those things. And in that drive, even though some of the stuff was goofy, none of it was dangerous, and the car did get us from my hotel and from where he started all the way to AI Day without him taking over, which was pretty cool. Now back to AI Day. I wonder what he was looking for in the back seat.
You. I was looking if anyone's hiding.
Yeah.
Okay, here, guest parking. I guess that means we can park here, right?
Yes. Oh, that. Buddy. Let me get out of the way here.
They have all their all the CPUs, all the hardware, all that stuff like lined up.
Yeah.
an input on it.
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, maybe later. All right, so I'm just finishing up here at Tesla's AI Day, and yeah, pretty overwhelming. Of course, there's tons of information that I did not exactly understand, but what I will say is all of the self-driving, autopilot talk really gave me more respect. I had a lot of respect, of course, for what the system was capable of, but it gave me even more respect for what the car is capable of now, and made me feel a little better about the mistakes it makes, just because it is such a hard problem for them to solve. And they are working on it. They have rewritten things multiple times to try to make this work. And when you have a problem that's not solved yet, you try something new. It doesn't work, you redo it, you try something new. And that's kind of this iterative approach that they are taking. Now, some of the promises we've gotten of, oh, it's gonna be ready now, it's gonna be ready now, it's gonna do these things, I think that's kind of more where the disappointment and higher expectations come from, rather than people just kind of taking for granted what these cars can really do. As far as TeslaBot goes, I was actually very impressed by TeslaBot. A lot of people didn't even think it would be able to walk on stage. And in fact, Tesla trusted the demo enough that this was the first time the TeslaBot walked on its own, unassisted, without anything to catch it in case it fell. And it came out, it walked, did a little weird dance, and was waving at everybody, and it was very cool. Not only that, they showed us the next level of TeslaBot, kind of what they're aiming towards next. And all of what you saw, all of what we saw tonight was done in 6 months. They said 6 months of work is what you see here. So imagine, again, we gotta kind of imagine this stuff in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. It's gonna be insane. And my hopes are really high. I'm an optimistic person, but I do think this can be something really useful that can really change the world and make things a lot better. Now, not today, not tomorrow, but eventually in the future. This is kind of the first steps of that. As far as the questions went, I was gonna try to ask a question, but it's just pretty much immediately. There were way too many people trying to ask questions, a huge line formed. Actually, a lot of the social media people had some kind of lanyard that was given to them. For whatever reason, I had a general admission pass. I did not have a content creator pass, so I didn't have that. I don't know why it worked out that way. Now, the people with the lanyard, the content creators, actually were not supposed to be able to ask questions. So I could have, but again, the line was too long and I just wasn't able to do that. This also, let's remember, was first and foremost a recruiting event, a kind of talent expedition event for Tesla to find talent to help them out with these problems that they're having. Not so much for people like me, although I was invited, so I think they would want me to cover this in some way. Also, no names, but I gotta say it, I did talk to a couple members of the Autopilot team. That was cool. Thank you so much for saying hi to me, and I really appreciate all the hard work that you guys put in on this stuff. All right, now a few more things I want to add. Now, when it comes to robots like this, of course, I'm just some random guy, so me being impressed doesn't really mean much because I don't know that much about robots, but I've been reading some of the experts' reactions. A lot of experts say it is a good start for Tesla, and they're excited to see where the company can go from here, while at the same time, they didn't really show any major breakthroughs, anything too new to the field. After recording that portion you just saw, I actually did talk to some more people from Tesla, and man, I gotta say, again, thank you to those guys for your hard work. I really appreciate it. I told all of them, sometimes, hopefully, it didn't seem like they thought I was a jerk, and I was like, hopefully you don't think I'm a jerk from what I say in the videos, because I am pretty critical of the full self-driving beta and autopilot and the goofy things it can do sometimes, but I do recognize their hard work. It's nothing I could ever attempt to do, and so I made that clear, and everybody there, I want to note, everyone I talked to seemed so happy and so excited about self-driving and what they were working on, and they were having a great time. Now, some insights I learned, not directly from them, but just from things I was hearing around, some things we may find interesting. Hitting the clip button at the top of the screen, kind of reporting things, is extremely important to them and gives them a lot of data. Now, I don't have any specifics, but let's keep in mind, you should be using that, and I'm going to use it more now that I've kind of heard these things. It helps them a lot with situations that you are having trouble with. Now, to add on to that, maybe there's something you've been reporting, because I know it's happened to me for a long time, that's still not fixed. And you're like, well, why am I reporting this if I've been reporting it for a year? However, I mean, some things I've been reporting for almost 2 years at this point that still seem to not be working correctly. It seems that the goal right now, the focus is, as it should be, on safety. So anything that's safety critical is what's going to get attention first, number one. Things that are more convenience, or more just kind of good driving etiquette and things are a little bit on the back burner. They're not as much of a focus of the beta right now. And again, I didn't get any of this specifically. It's not like I asked this exact question and got this exact answer, but in my head, how I kind of put it all together, an example is like no right on red. So that's something I still don't think is working, although I've heard people say it is working and I've had it work for me, but let's say it's not working, no right turn on red, and the car will still try to turn if that sign is present. The driver can easily just tap the brake. Me, in this case, could just easily tap the brake. It's not a safety concern. It's not something where the car's running into somebody. It's just tap the brake because the car's doing it wrong. Tesla's not focused on making that work right now because they have other things that they are focusing on. Again, take a lot of this with a grain of salt, but these are just kind of the things I've gathered from my discussions there. And our driving is very helpful for the team. So driving is good. There's nothing specific. There's nothing like, oh, you should do this or do this. It's just drive, click that report button when you can, when you find things you think need to be reported, and that data does help them. All right, I'm done with AI Day. We got ChuckCook here.
Hey!
And what'd you think?
No hardware 4. That's what I think.
Yeah,
the robot was cool. The robot walked. I actually was one of the people that didn't think it was going to be walking. I guess you could say I got both of those. The demo one was walking, but the real one wasn't yet.
Sure.
It's pretty fun. A lot of it was great to see the AI team devs and all the team there. You know, they were very polite, coming up to meet us and say hi. That was really great. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Now, as you heard from both me and Chuck, little disappointed not to see Hardware 4, but to be fair, Elon was very clear that this was again, a recruiting event, kind of a talent acquisition event to attract talent, have people come help work on full self-driving and the Tesla bot coming up. Now, in the main area where we were watching Elon and other members of the team talk, there was some stuff off to the sides that you were not allowed to take pictures or videos of. They had the Dojo cabinet, which Tesla has released footage of. They had the Dojo chips there. They also had some full self-driving hardware, the generations, you know, the first, second, and third generation. And I said, oh, where's the next generation of this hardware? And the guy kind of laughed and said, well, guess Elon's going to have to talk about that. And I was like, oh, that's it. We're hearing about Hardware 4 today because this was before the talk. And we're going to know what's going on. And then there was nothing. So I was like kind of doubly disappointed by that because that little teaser, I thought it was going to come out. Not too much consumer facing, although Elon did mention he was talking about safety interventions. That's kind of their main metric that they are looking at right now, which is good to know because I have a lot of interventions and disengagements where it's more just like, I don't want the car to do that. I find it annoying, or I don't want to annoy the people around me, which, to be fair, the car shouldn't be doing those things anyway, but it's not safety critical. It's not that the car's about to crash or go off the road. It's just like, oh, I don't want that to happen, so I stop it. And I was happy to hear that Tesla differentiates those instances from safety critical things and kind of goes back to talking about they are focused on the whole safety aspect. And then once the car, you know, they're going for this uncrashable car, once they kind of get to that goal or get closer to the goal that they're going for, then hopefully they can add a lot more of that polish. So things like, you know, incorrect lanes, which I've been seeing less of, but being in the incorrect lane, maybe moving to the left before a right turn comes up and vice versa, how it does those weird things. Hopefully that polish can then come. But as of now, we're still in beta. This is still something that people, and I know base autopilot is also beta, but this is something that people sign up for. They go through safety score, they then, you know, agree to all the terms, get this special software, turn it on. There's a lot of steps. It's not like somebody buys the car and then they're like, what's going on? This is terrible. This is something you really have to invest in. And until it gets to that point of just like, oh, you turn it on when you buy the car and that's it, I'm kind of more okay with those, you know, polishes coming later. And I think a lot of it's just having talked to the people that actually work on it, just again, gave me a huge appreciation for what's going on and how kind of happy and excited they were to talk about it and to say that they love working on it and they love what they do. I mean, everybody I talked to was just so excited. It was very cool to see. So if you have any more questions about AI Day you want to leave below, I'd be happy to answer those. Huge thank you to everyone watching this. It's because of you I was able to even do anything like this. It was a little bit expensive, but it was crazy fun, and I just feel so grateful to have an opportunity to go to an event and do something like that. So yeah, I look forward to talking to you down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this one, and you will see me in the next video.